Shooting.
I got to lean in.
What is up, everybody? Happy Monday evening. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to episode 14 of the Real Housewives of New York City reboot. We've got our last episode before the finale of next week, and I'm so happy to have Chad back with us tonight, along with Love. How are you guys doing tonight?
I'm doing great now that you said that, because any other time you are very mean to me.
Oh,
Are you calling me your own personal Sai? Am I your Sai?
Yes.
Because I feel it's reversed. I feel you bully me. And I can run the footage.
Run the footage.
run the beans. That beautiful bean.
How are you doing, Love?
I am fabulous. How are you, Jamie?
I am doing fantastic. You guys look amazing. I love the color. Y'all are popping over there. You've got some amazing sun going on over there, Love. Chad, your skin is glowing. And then there's me. Hi. Good to see y'all. Well, we want to go ahead and welcome everybody who is already in our chat. I see Sierra Content. I see L Vision. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Thank y'all. I know, Sierra, you have been with us since the very first episode of this reboot. We see you in here every single week. Sean S. just popped up. Same with you. Thank you guys so much for taking this journey with us as we're wrapping it up. I know none of us knew what we were expecting when we got here. This is a brand new show to recap on this channel. We have me as the first-time host, Love, first-time full-time panelist on this. So there was a lot of new things going on. So we just want to say before we get started, thank you guys so much. We got 3 more episodes before we end this journey, and we are very, very happy to have you guys with us for it. So let's go ahead and get started. We popped the episode off. Bryn is still recovering from COVID. One of the things that I will say that I guess some of the other franchises have kind of avoided in the last season is once COVID was done, for the most part, like none of them ever talked about it again. It's like it did not exist. I appreciate that New York, it's just kind of like, no, bitch, it's still here. We still get sick one by one. So I feel like that kind of grounded it a little bit. But Ubah is having a photo shoot. She looks absolutely amazing in this. I think in this episode, I think everybody debuted a new like confessional look. So to see like Ubah doing like her bread and butter, and she talks about that a little bit later on. I think she looked gorgeous. While this is going on, meanwhile, in Erin's lair, Sai summons her from her cauldron so the 2 cackling hags can get together and cackle like they normally do. Jessel is visiting Jenna's apartment. Jenna's catching her up on a trip to Scotland that Jenna's going on. All expenses paid. She is being paid to be a brand ambassador and being flown out there. So I say kudos to you, Jenna Lyons. I think the rest of the cast can expect some swag bag and swag gifts to be coming their way, whether they like it or not. Jenna brings up, I guess, the last time they were together, they were going to have a date night, a couple's night at Swingers, which, girl, maybe pick a different venue. Jenna learns that Jessel and Pavitt had their little date night and the dry spell is over. Jenna seemed genuinely happy. And I have to say, in this scene, there was something about Jenna that just looked really, really beautiful.
I agree.
It's a very simple makeup. She had her hair off to the side. I think she just looked she looked really gorgeous. And I think when she doesn't try, like she just kind of exudes this casual elegance that like really worked well for her in the J. Crew brand and kind of resurged that. So like kudos to you, Jenna Lyons. Sai and Erin are doing what they do best, talking mess about Jessel's marriage. Sai is completely offended about Jessel taking 20 minutes or she was 20 minutes late or 40 minutes late. Jessel is also filling in Jenna on her version of the lunch. She says she was 15 minutes late. Both of them were late, and both of them are mad at the other person about it. So
Both
Sai,
of them were late.
yeah, Sai showed up 20 minutes late, and then Jessel showed up 20 minutes after Sai. So, like, at this point, it's apples and oranges. I think Sai was saying she was 20 minutes late, or Jessel was saying she was 20 minutes late to Sai's 20 minutes late. But Sai is
That's what it was.
the fact that she was late, and she was like, she was 40 minutes late. It's semantics. It's how long did you have to
semantics?
Wait?
We'll give it that.
We'll give it that. Sai is complaining about Jessel's attempt to connect with her by bringing up the mother and the uncle. Erin is saying that Jessel skirts around stories while trying to connect, saying that she kind of, talks in circles and doesn't really open up and tries to, piggyback on other people's story. And at this point, we're 14 episodes in, and I still cannot tell you a single thing about Erin or her life or her family, other than like they renewed their vows and her dad is older and dating. And that's about it. Like, I don't know anything about this lady. So it's very interesting that she's choosing this hill to die on. While Sai is talking about this, Jenna is actually doing what none of the other ladies have bothered to do, and it's show empathy. She makes a very pointed response and a very intelligent response by saying, you keep trying to get approval from Sai, and most of the time we try to gain approval from people who will never ever give it to us, and we know that, and so we try harder. She definitely is trying to give a pep talk and telling Sai that, or telling Jessel, stop, you don't need her approval, you don't need approval from anybody. And Jessel agrees, saying, I do just kind of wish, or I kind of think sometimes that I have to overcompensate and I have to prove myself. And Jen is telling her, no, you don't. We end this little scene with them, Jessel in her confessional saying that she really is kind of over it, and she kind of understands now that she doesn't really need to be friends with everybody. Meanwhile, Sai and Erin are once again worried about someone else's marriage. I did not like this scene, and I'm going to get y'all's opinion. I felt like Sai was going out of her way to be really, really gross and insinuating some nefarious things about Pavit's intentions regarding the trip and just kind of the little thing. Like, Pavit is, I don't know. I felt gross about just her saying like, oh, what's going on in Vietnam? And, you can get into a lot of trouble in just one night, Pavit. And Abe kind of is the voice of reason. He comes in and is like, yeah, 3 days away from our insufferable wives, like, sign me up. But I know y'all would never go for it. So, Chad, you have been a staunch Sai champion for a while. So your girl, your girl.
Girl.
This episode was a lot. And I was also disappointed. But on the flip side, I got to have a flip side when it comes to my people I defend. It was typical. It was typical housewife behavior. They do that. That's what they do. And Sai stepped into her housewife bag and decided to insinuate and continue to insinuate that something ain't right in their marriage. So, I mean, don't get me wrong. I do believe that Pavit is, a good guy and all that stuff. We don't really know much about them all yet. We just started doing some real digging on the girls lately as of last week. But I think that all the viewers have been kind of like saying what Sai is saying. It's just that Sai is kind of like the villain and people are not really connecting with her. So in this case, it's like the messenger versus the message. Everybody's thinking it though. It's like, why are you going to Vietnam 3 times just for points? It's weird.
Love.
Ooh, I agree. I do agree. Sai, I'm seeing both sides. If I want to look at it through the housewives' point of view, the POV of housewives, she's doing what needs to be done. You take something that's nothing and you just throw it out there and see what sticks. Is it good? No. Is it common? Yes. That's just what it is. It's very common. It only takes one housewife to just be like, oh, he slept on the floor last week because his back hurt. Got it. Well, I heard he slept on the floor because he hasn't had sex in 3 weeks. Like, that's just how they work. You know what I'm saying? So it was just typical. I mean, I think the only reason why it just seems like it's gross is because this is the first time we're seeing these girls kind of pick at nothing, and it's kind of personal, and they're just like, what's up now? Like, it's kind of like, I feel like Sai and Erin are like double dutching. Like, all right, let's go. Like, let's go. Okay, tap me in. Let's just see. They're both just jumping rope right now to see, like, okay, now who's really going to go off and how and what. So I feel like I could see their wheels turning with those two. But oh my goodness, it's weird. I agree with Chad. There's no way to slice it and dice it. I don't know if there's a flight attendant you like. I mean, it's weird. Off jump, it's weird. Just on paper, off scratch, someone walk in the room and say it, you'd be like, that's odd. It's weird. So and I love Jessel. She's clicking up with me every episode, but now I'm like, ooh, girl.
We have some comments saying it's stuff like this is common for people who actively are flying and stuff. And I agree. When you first hear the story, I'm just going to Vietnam for a sandwich. You're like, like, this doesn't make any sense. But then, we see in the episode where he's actively like explaining the discount of the tickets and the trips. And he, and then once you look at his Instagram and stuff, the man's been traveling since been traveling. That's obviously one of his passions. So for people who, I am not of any position to be traveling, to be spending money on that kind of traveling. So of course that to me struck something weird, but I think I think the thing with Sai is she's doing what needs to be done from a production standpoint from pushing forward storylines. But I think because her hands have been in so many feuds and just kind of the nastiness that's kind of coming from it, it almost feels like an all-out attack on one particular castmate. And had it just been like, your husband, this is weird. You're like, oh, she's messy. Oh, yeah, she's bringing that up. She's stirring conversations, but it's the husband. It's screaming at her for not being honest. It's you actively saying you don't care about her life or don't care about, like, now it's starting to feel like you've got something going on with this girl. And that's odd because y'all just met each other a couple of months ago. So I'm interested to see how this plays out, particularly at the reunion. Because Jessel is playing the housewife long game of nasty nice on social media and playing coy in interviews and stuff. And it's kind of letting the footage do what needs to be done itself. So we're back, and I like this scene. Ubah is partnering up with a local restaurant who asked her to do a collaboration with Ubah Hot. And I really, really like this. I like that they're featuring her hot sauce. I like that she's been really, really open about, like, she's teetering on this line of expanding her brand and not wanting to give up control and not wanting to be responsible and have to answer to stockholders or investors and stuff. We saw her earlier on the season say if her mother was here, her mother would give her advice. And she just kind of feels in this transition period that she doesn't know if she's 100% ready. She does mention that she takes modeling gigs and is her own investor. Like she gets paid so that way she can invest in what she truly loves, which is this business, and it's this hot sauce. And I was really happy to see that local businesses are putting the shine on her and collaborating with her. I thought this was fun. Her taste testing stuff, because we know Ubah is not shy to say she enjoys a nice meal. So I think this is like a perfect collaboration for her to be able to do. And it was fun just to see her kind of away from the girls and see more Ubah-focused content. I think out of everybody there, Ubah and Jenna have really been the main two ones to showcase their businesses. Oh, I forgot. We're on this MacBook, and you do hand motions, and now this new thing does emojis on the screen, and I don't know how to turn it off.
I'm like, what is that?
My bad, guys. And I talk with my hands, so I'm just going to sit here like this. So y'all going to get all kinds of emojis on this thing.
I was like, what in the world?
He said, what we celebrating? We celebrating something? Congratulations. Happy birthday.
Congratulations, Ubah.
Congratulations. Happy birthday.
And after seeing on his promo, like, I kind of want to try the sauce. I kind of want to see where I can find it.
Ooh, yes.
I did see that she was on Watch What Happens Live last night, and she posted today that Ubah hot sauce is sold out after her appearance on Watch What Happens Live. So,
Yes, girl.
I love that for her.
There we
I
go.
love that. This next scene almost had me back on the Sai train. Her Thea comes to town, and it's good to see Sai in a family kind of setting, where she's not the main driving force of everything. Her Theo, they were making food together. It kind of made me tear up a little bit because, and all the time that Sai has talked about her mother, she's never talked about how great of an artist that her mother was.
Yeah.
And so the book that her husband made of all her mother's artwork, I was like, oh my, wow, this is actually really, really great. Her mother was insanely talented. And so seeing her aunt kind of tear up at this is the last, like, this is the legacy. And it's so easy to focus on the negative and the illness that took, the disease that took her. I want to focus on like the beauty that she put out in the world. So I really, really liked this scene that we got to have that here. And then also I wanted a plate of the food that they made. The whole time I was like, that looks so good.
It did look good.
It looked good. So before we move on, do y'all have anything you want to add about, Sai taking a break from hate bombing Jessel?
Not hate bombing. No, it was definitely a cute scene, and I think Sai is very likable outside of the girls, because even when she was the scene with her daughter, like from an episode or two ago, it was definitely good to see her in an element that softens her up a little bit, because she's definitely a New Yorker at heart. Like she's very tough exterior, and I think that she might watch this season back and see how to pivot for next season, because I think that she's really a good girl for the cast.
Oh, absolutely. Love.
I agree. I think that's kind of common with the villains. If you think about it, like you kind of only get a refreshing moment when they're not with the girls, like the Giselles, like the Kenyas. It's like, oh, I do like you in this scene, and then you switch to something else, and then someone's getting a bottle thrown through your head, and you're like, see, you know what? It don't last for 2 seconds. So it is good to have those little teensy weensy moments where you're like, oh, villain, So that's what I got with that scene. I agree.
Sai is like, her story is likable.
Yeah.
At the core, a girl who grew up, impoverished with an alcoholic mother, like beats all the odds, makes a name for herself, becomes one of the top influencers in New York, lands herself on a reality TV show. Like, she should be somebody that we're all like rooting for. And
Agreed.
It's just, it's the way she acts. It's the way she acts.
Not you have to do the guy.
I think she will. I think she'll give very Camille Grammer season 2, where she'll watch it back and come back just like, oh, absolutely, I love everybody. I want to collaborate with everybody, and everybody is great.
Everyone's amazing.
On the flip side, we also see Jenna shopping with her son. I like these little moments because Jenna's been very open about how difficult her childhood was and how like unemotional her mother was due to her mother's Asperger's. And so it's kind of, Jenna sometimes in social settings is a little bit awkward, a little bit weird, but with her son, like their relationship is super cute. Like she's super nurturing, super complimentary of him. Like you can tell that she takes the time to make sure that her son feels valued and special, and then just kind of, he's also very quiet like her, just very reserved, very quiet. But this is also kind of what I want to see more on next season of Housewives. Like I want to see these ladies spending money and not asking how much stuff is costing, and just like, you've got my credit card on file, run it. Like, I'm Jenna Lyons, I'm good for it. So it's date night. We're at Swingers. Jessel and the Mean Girls gather for their little triple date plus Ubah. Sai actually looked really, really cute. This little outfit with like the little jacket draped in these high-waisted cream pants. I thought she looked beautiful. Her hair looked gorgeous. Erin is mad that Sai ate before because I didn't know if there was going to be food. But I was confused because at the wreath-making party, Erin told Sai she just needed to start eating before she came to events. And so again, it's just kind of like Erin's never happy. They, of course, like clockwork, start talking about Pavitt and Jessel. And Sai keeps trying to like convince Hope that she doesn't care about Jessel and Pavitt, but like the tightness in her mouth every time Jessel's name pops up tells me something different. They start talking about the couple's sex life, which is very odd. I've never seen straight people more concerned what other straight people are doing in the bedroom than these two. Jessel does come in finally with Pavitt, and Jessel looks super cute, like the little like 1960s kind of mod hairstyle on her and the cream. I thought she looked really, really beautiful. That little jacket was good on her. She throws a little bit of shade and says that Sai maybe doesn't like her because she dresses better. And I was like, not too much.
Not too much.
Just
let's reel it on back.
Calm down. No, too much dip. Too much dip on the chip.
Too much dip on the chip.
Too much.
But I love it. So once again, once the group is all set, the conversation turns to Vietnam. And now Pavitt gets an opportunity to kind of explain, because we all know Jessel isn't the best at giving details in a way that people can absorb. So Pavitt really clearly says, normally these tickets are $15,000 round trip. They were $900 each, so I bought 3. And he's used up all the tickets. The ladies are laughing and they're asking more questions, and Sai just keeps saying, I'm so confused. And I'm like, what are you confused about? It's $50,000 on sale for $900. Like, if you got the coins, buy the ticket to take the trip. Like, what isn't clicking? She keeps interrogating, but why? Why? And she just can't grasp around her head in her confessional why he would just go for any other reason other than to get himself into trouble and to cheat. Jessel doesn't understand why they're so invested in Pavitt's travel schedule, and I agree with her. It does give a little tinge of jealousy, as much as it doesn't make sense. Like, they're going really, really hard when that man said a $15,000 ticket was $900. That should be all that you need to hear. Awesome. If you can afford it, buy the ticket, go get you a sandwich. Love, what did you think of this first half of this ragged dinner?
Ragged dinner. Okay. I think that I could tell that it's everyone's first season of the show. Like, with the Housewives, you can't leave room for error. You can't leave room for questioning. You can't leave someone saying, wait, what did you say? Everything got to be clear. Your husband got to say what y'all practice. Y'all stories got to match. You said next week I was flying, right? No, I said it a couple weeks. Oh, damn. Like, things got to just be cohesive. So There's no pushback. There's no, in the car on the way in the Sprinter, did you hear her say that I thought I heard him say none of that would happen. And since both Jessel and her husband are just very like, well, yeah, like, yeah, we're going to Vietnam. I'm not going. I'm staying home with the kids. He's like, yeah, travel points. Yeah, so anyway, pass the steak. Everyone's like, wait, what? So it's like, I want them to just like explain it. And Jamie, you educated me a lot as far as the people in the comments. Thank you so much. It is common when it comes to points and things of that. I feel like maybe it's a little bit more common with domestic flights. I think that's another reason why it might be a little bit alarming per se. Like, I've heard of people being like, oh, I got to fly to Texas this weekend, might visit a friend, and I just want to get my points. I just want to build my miles up. But to Vietnam and back in 72 hours, it's like, ooh, okay, interesting. So I just wish they would give us more so there would be less questioning. Because it's like, it's Housewives they're eating it up right now. It's easy for them.
Agreed.
Chad?
So my take on it is, you have to always, feel like you have to put things into context. I think that they're going so hard because Jessel has shared that they've been in this sex drought for forever. And don't get me wrong, I get it. When you have kids, things change. Life comes at you. You got this going on, that going on. But it's like, you can make time to go to Vietnam for 3 days, and you can't make time for 15 minutes with your wife. It's a little weird. I mean, we have to put things in the context. You can't just say, oh, it's weird, and it doesn't make sense. Yeah, you could be going to rack up miles, but again, you went going on 2 years without having sex. Like, come on now. It's like, I think anybody would question that, and then question how you're able to make time to go to Vietnam. Like, they went hard, and I got annoyed by it after a while. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, all right, drop this, like, leave it alone. But I also get it. Like, it's how can you not understand the logic of y'all not doing it? So what's going on?
I agree. You know, have cameras not been around, these conversations that are being had are the same conversations that like any of us would have. Like, and I think again, Jessel doesn't do a great job of like getting to the point. Give me the details, give me what's going on. She's very just like, oh, it's, you know, it's we're doing this maybe, and I think he might be going over here, and then who knows what, like,
Boys.
girl, where he going? What are we doing? But the thing that I will defend her about is I think had she done a better job of really explaining the kind of the trauma that she went through after the kids, like of the fertility and the multiple issues of not being able to get pregnant, like the postpartum and stuff like that, like, you know, all that is going to affect your sex drive. That's going to affect you wanting to get intimate. But I think that at no time from what I've seen have she ever said that she does not want to be with her husband. She just said we're in a dry spell. She's actually talked, you know, after the first episode, she was kind of ragging him a little bit, saying, "Oh my God, he's a project, and I had to do X, Y, and Z." But every single time she brings him up, it's always with very much like fondness, and like you can tell that she likes her husband.
Yeah, I mean, they've been together forever.
Yeah, and so it's, you know, I can understand a little bit of a curiosity, but like you said, Chad, at some point it's just like, oh, okay, like, are we gonna talk about something else? Because I don't know how many times we have to bring this up for you to get the same answer. And I don't know why you're so invested. Tell your husband to buy you a plane ticket. Like, do you want to go to Vietnam? Pavitt posted on his Instagram pictures of like the plane. Baby, if I had the money, I'd fly on that plane for 3 days too. Like, that shit was bigger than my apartment.
First
the business class that he flies in, like where he sits to fly out to Vietnam.
Yes,
Ooh.
it's huge. And he was like, baby, I eat, I drink, I go there, I walk around, get back on, and I come back over.
He
like,
said caviar.
I was like, I'm not fond of traveling. Like, traveling is a means to an end to get somewhere. Traveling has never been a big issue, but I know people that like they love the entire
experience
of traveling.
Yeah,
not
I hate it.
Surely not. But then again, I've never flown business class, so that could change. I flow Southwest. Find your seat.
Not find your seat.
Find your seat where you can get it. Okay, so the men go and they play their golf. I don't know why swinger. Oh, I just made the connection. Swingers because it's golf. Oh my God.
Come on, baby. Y'all love you too. Oh my God.
I was like, why is this place named Swingers and it's a putt-putt golf? I got it. I answered.
Not y'all didn't put 2 and 2 together.
Just
remember me different, Chad. Remember me different.
Okay. When you tell the story, forget this part.
Remember me different.
The men are playing the little putt-putt golf. Sai goes to the bathroom or to find a child to steal the life force out of. And Jessel and Erin talk about the lunch that they had. Jessel is kind of giving her point of view to Erin, and you could already tell that Erin is already team Sai on this point. She doesn't look like she's believing anything that Jessel is saying. But Erin does come back, or excuse me, Sai does come back, and immediately is just like, "What? Why are we talking? What's going on? What? I don't want to be at that dinner. You were late. I don't want to be here." And she randomly starts
why she turn into
the DMX voice.
It was fair. That's the energy. She's like,
turned into a Bronx cab driver at 12 in the morning.
I can't help it. I'm to the point. I'm honest. I'm gonna tell you what I feel. Like, girl, shut up. She's talking about Jessel not taking accountability for anything, and I'm just like, did I forget the meaning of the word accountability? Because I'm not sure what we're taking accountability for right now. She's saying she was offended that Jessel brought up her mom, saying, I really don't want to talk about my mom in that aspect. And I'm like, all you have talked about is your mom in this aspect. But okay, go offs. Jessel's trying to explain to her that, like, I was genuinely, like, I'm not trying to, like, compare apples to oranges. I thought that this would be something that we could, like, find some commonality, that we could connect. Sai's not hearing it. Ubah walks in late, full of just like positive energy and saying hi to everybody. She's laughing, but she does notice that things are kind of tense. Everybody greets her, and then Sai tells her, Ubah, sit down, we're talking. And I would have torn that place up because who are you talking to, ma'am? Erin is saying that she's on Sai's side to Ubah because Jessel was wrong to try to compare, which she wasn't comparing. She was trying to relate. There are two different things. Words mean things. Sai, meanwhile, is accusing Jessel. Oh, This is my square.
talking.
Get to your square in a little bit. This is my square. Sai's accusing Jessel of lying because she said Pavitt was going to Vietnam next week. The film rolls back and we see Jessel actually saying that Pavitt is going in a couple of weeks.
Yep.
So Jessel again is trying to explain that she has to wait for these tickets to open up. And I think part of the reason is Jessel really doesn't understand how flights work. Like, Pavitt made it sound so easy, and Jessel just like, well, there's an airplane, and if the airplane doesn't have a seat, then it opens up, and then he gets to fly. And
Jamie, shut
But then Jessel's trying to explain, and Sai's like, you know what? I don't care. And I'm like, but you do, because this is the 18th time that you brought this up. Jessel said that she's over the mean girl shit. Sai immediately says that no one is being a mean girl and goes right back into being a mean girl by saying that Jessel doesn't make sense, that she talks in circles and contradicts herself. Jessel says that she's over trying to explain because Sai's parrot, Erin, always jumps in. And you can tell that Jessel has absolutely riled Sai up because big bad Sai decides to get up and walk away, which is something I never thought I'd see Sai do. Like, she's all bark and no bite. So, Chad, you humped over there. What are your thoughts on this?
I would have walked away too, because once I've gotten irritated with whatever it is, whether I'm wrong or right, once I've gotten irritated with it, it's best for me to just move away for a minute to calm down. So I was on Sai's side with that, to move around. Also, when it came to Jessel, the thing that bothers me, because I really like Jessel, the thing that bothers me with her, she only sees things from her point of view. I do agree with Sai that she was comparing the situations. I get it. Her intent was to connect, but even Jenna, who was not there when she explained it to her, even Jenna was like, yeah, maybe that's not, because at the end of the day, and even Erin, when she was joking with Ubah with it, she was like, everybody has a drunk uncle or a drunk cousin. And that's kind of the way that I was looking at it. I was like, a mother is different from your drunk uncle that you just went to live with. But again, intentions are, everything. And I do believe that Jessel's intention was not to compare, but I believe that she was comparing. But to go back to what you said, I agree with you in a little way too. Words do mean things, and it wasn't a full-on comparison, but to me, I think that's how it comes off on the screen. It comes off that she was comparing, because as soon as she found a way to bring up Sai's mom, with her, it's like, okay, well, let me say this as well, so you can, see where I'm coming from. And it's like, girl, you don't have to do all that. I really think that this is a case of them being two totally different people from two totally different worlds, and they're not going to understand each other, like, at all. No matter who says what, how it's said, they're not going to understand each other, in my opinion.
I agree, certain extents.
That's just how I felt a little bit.
Love.
Well, I'm going to start to put Jessel and Sutton in the same box moving forward, because the way they communicate and handle conflict and just very roll off your shoulder, the way Jessel was handling Sai, when she was just like, but why would you say that? Like, why are you doing that? She was like, okay. And she's like, well, why did you do that? She was like, got it. And she's like, but what did you mean? She was like, okay.
I'm gonna be honest. I was on Sai's side and you arguing with something like that.
I would be so mad.
I would be so mad. That's why I'm like, she's low-key eating you up, Sai, because she's just like, and then
what else?
What happened next? I was like, okay, Sutton. Like, it just immediately, it made me literally think of her. Like, with anything that Sutton does, it's just very like.
That's a great comparison. Like, that's
just
a really,
very
really good comparison.
Very aloof, and like I said what I said, but in a very nice, nasty way. Like, well, that's what happened. I didn't have a gun to my head today. You know what I'm saying? Just very yickety.
No, that's actually, oh my God, that is a perfect comparison. Not a relation, a comparison. That's a comparison, ladies and gentlemen. That's a comparison.
when Erica gave Or what? Or what? Sudden or nothing. Like
Or nothing.
I don't know what to say to you. Or nothing.
Or nothing.
That's great.
Yeah, that's perfect. But literally, Jessel was eating Sai up with her just unbothered suddenness. I was very impressed. I felt like that's why Sai got up and walked the hell away, because she was just like, let me get up before I snatch this woman up. Because it was both, it was like she's handling me, and I hate that for me. So I'm just gonna leave
Oh
now.
my goodness.
How dare you
know?
embarrass me in a fight that I started?
How dare you do this? Right. Like, what's going on? This was not on my bingo card. How dare you? Like, it was just not a thing.
Oh my
But
goodness.
I love that moment. But Sai, I totally agree, Chad. There's people that are just dedicated to misunderstanding you, and there's nothing that you could do, and there's nothing that you could say at all. I think absolutely intentions matter. Sai is the type of person where intentions don't. And there's a lot of people that walk around the world like that. You do something or say something, regardless of your intention, that's my reaction to it. It doesn't matter who you are, your position in my life. You could be my sister or you could be my coworker. You looked at me crazy, I'm gonna cuss you out the same way.
Yep.
That's Sai. Intentions do not exist. So it doesn't matter what Jessel was trying to do. You mentioned my mama. So I don't like that. You know what I'm saying? And Jessel was like, but I was trying to tell you about my uncle. She's like, but you mentioned my mama. I'm the only one who can mention my mama. You can't mention my mama. I was like, wait, what? Like, but you guys were having a conversation. It was throwing me. I said, Sai is dedicated to misunderstanding her. There's nothing this woman can do or say. So,
And to Sai's point, and all of us kind of agreed episode 1 and 2, like Jessel is that kind of girl that will get under your skin because she's unintentionally annoying. Like, I'm sure she has the best intentions, but she does. You know, Sai did have a point. You do take a while to land the plane, and you kind of bounce from idea to idea. For people like Sai, and I mean, when you want to get to the point where we're having a conversation, lady, can we please come back here? Because Sai, you can always count on Sai. Whenever she opens her mouth, nothing's going to be left ambiguous. Like,
Facts.
no,
this is it. This is what
there's no gray area. Yeah.
And Jessel, and you can tell Sai is very much like a yellow-green personality, and it's facts, and it's this, and it's that, and this is what we got going on. Emotion is kind of taken out of it until she gets mad. And then Jessel is very much like, well, let's just feel things right now. And let's just, why are we going here? And I'm trying. So I can understand where that impatience, if you are impatient with people like that. And I think Sai or Jessel has kind of annoyed her in tiny ways to the point where now she's like, girl, I don't want to mess with you. And we say this with every single franchise. In a real life, they would avoid each other. To the point where they would get over their stuff and then they could come back. Baby, you have to film today. Come on.
Yeah, let's go.
Girl, get in there and talk
3 o'clock.
And Sai is not the kind of girl that can keep her cool when she's annoyed with somebody. We've seen that. So while, yes, two things can be right at the same time. Jessel is annoying, but also the way you were reacting to this girl is completely uncalled for at this point.
Yes.
Like girl, she ate
the energy. Yeah. It's just negative. It's very mean. It's nasty. It's mean spirited. First of all, you look me in my face and say I talk in circles and I don't make no sense, I'm gonna throw a drink at you. So for me,
love, are you
for
sorry?
Me, that moment, I don't know. I don't know no more. What does it all mean? I don't know anymore. That triggered me in that moment. I said, talking in circles. I said, Jessel, get her. I said, wait, why don't you have a drink in your hand?
Stand up.
I'm so confused. Yeah, stand up. Stand up. Like, what is going on? This woman just said you don't make no sense. To me, that was a strike. That was a shot to me. I said, oh, I don't make no sense. Then why are we still talking? I would have went off. But I digress. Sai, they are oil and water.
That's really how they oil and water.
Oil and water.
And you know what? In a perfect, like, I honestly think next season the two will become good friends because they.
You think so? That kind of always happens, though.
Sai is more of the very straightforward girl. Let's just get to the point, like I said, and Jessel can help her loosen up a bit. Like, girl, not everything needs to be internalized. Not everything needs to be analyzed. Not everything needs to live in your head. If it just come on, like, yeah, there's a flight, maybe, and a sandwich involved. I don't know, girl. Let's go get coffee. Like, let's drink at 11 a.m. on a Friday. Like. I think that I hope, because I actually like them better friends than, like, I'm already tired of the fight. Like, I'm tired of the fight.
The thing is, Jessel, like she said in the last episode, I think, or the episode before, she looks up to Sai. So I think that that's the issue that I'm having with Sai as well, is that she's not giving her any type of empathy. I think you mentioned it earlier. Jenna Lyons is the one to show empathy, and it kind of bothered me because I hate when I see one side somebody really trying, and Jessel, like we keep saying, she's in unintentionally annoying, but she's really trying to be friends with her, and it's kind of frustrating that Sai doesn't see that she is being a mean girl by her actions. I saw somebody in the comments say, Sai's message gets lost because she starts yelling. And I'm like that personally. I don't like anybody to yell at me. You start yelling, I completely shut down. And it's like,
Me too, yeah.
so I get it. I really hope that they can figure out a way to become friends, but they're really going to have to get on the same page, because they really are not like at all on the same page at all. And it's a
They're not even
personality
reading the
thing.
same book.
Yeah,
They read
it's
two different
really
stories.
bad.
In the different classes.
All right. So once everybody comes back together, Erin and Sai again are talking about Jessel and Pavitt more than they're spending times with their own husbands who are there. And frankly, their husbands look really relieved to have a break from the two of them. And they're fawning over Ubah, who just, I don't even think Ubah tries to look gorgeous. She just shows up and just effortlessly eats everybody up. And it's just also, she's just good energy. Like, she's genuinely just like good energy. David, Sai's husband, is trying to figure out why she's single. And Ubah's just kind of playing coy and asks the men, well, when did you know that your wives were the ones for you?
Love
and so
that
David
question.
says that no one is more honest than Sai. And I was like, well, the blogs are saying that the way y'all started y'all's relationship allegedly was a little less than honest, but that's none of my business. And we don't have the money to find any lawyers. So we're not going to divulge into that. But if you go on Twitter and Google some stuff, you can find the story. Abe says that Erin keeps him honest and makes sure that he doesn't have a boring life. And also, he enjoys sex. And I'm like, that's romantic. Good for you, Erin. Good job.
Oh my
Pavitt
God.
says that he doesn't want to lead a boring life, and he is able to do everything that he loves doing, and Jessel is the perfect person to do that with. And somehow, this gets misconstrued to Pavitt married Jessel because she lets him do whatever the hell he wants to do. Somebody in the comments said, when you look for a problem, when you look for a misunderstanding, you're going to get it. So Erin and Sai, once again, find something negative about that answer. And I wanted to like them so bad, but their performance over the last 6 episodes has just soured me so much. Like, I do not like people like this at all. Nothing is ever good enough. Damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yes.
So meanwhile, while they're talking about stuff, Ubah pulls up a picture and shows it to Sai. And apparently this is a man that she's been secretly dating for a couple of months. Production in the confessional asks her, why are you keeping this secret? And she says, quite frankly, this is really brand new, and I don't want to bring anybody's negative energy into this. And I know people have opinions that you're on a reality show, you should, but honestly, after seeing the way Erin and Sai are behaving about Pavitt and Jessel, baby, I'd keep my lips shut forever about anybody that I was dating. She says, it's okay, I only told Sai and she can keep a secret. And I'm like, okay, we'll see how that goes. Love, what did you think of the end of this dinner scene?
I think that it reminded me, regarding the husbands, that Atlanta is unmatched. There's just, the husbands are so lame to me. I don't know what it is. Their interactions when they were just sitting there and then someone tried to make a joke. He was like, what does that mean? He was like, you're acting like my wife right now. And he was like, oh,
They don't know each other, so they're like, hey, dog, how's it?
Yeah, it's very like, it's so vanilla. I don't know. Like, I miss Atlanta. Yeah, it's just so like.
No pun intended.
That part. They're just dry. I don't know. But I like the husbands with their wives though. Like, individually, I think they're perfect for their wives and like their marriages, like single, like alone. But when they all get together, I'm like, all right, maybe we do need a couple seasons, like you're saying, Jamie. It's more Jersey and Atlanta, where the husbands like really get to know each other. That might bring them out a little bit more. But this final scene, I I get what he was saying, though. I mean, it makes sense. Production was being shady too with Pavitt's response because the music changed as soon as he was about to say something. I was like, what they doing? What this man about to say? Production said, do. I said, what's he about to? Don't highlight his response. They're shady. I knew it was something because of the music. But I mean, I get what he was saying now. Like, there's nothing wrong with what he was saying. It's like, I like to travel, and there's nothing better than doing what I want in life with the person that I love the most that I could do it with. Everyone knows what he was saying. Everybody got what he was saying. It's just, Jessel will learn after watching the season, girl. Everything that is irritating you about what these people are going after of your marriage, you gave to them on a silver platter. Like Karen told Candace a season or two ago, she said, you better stop telling these girls your business. It's gonna come right back to you every time. Do not tell these girls your business. Jessel will realize after season 1. Stop telling these girls your business, girl.
What about you, Chad?
I was ready for the scene to be over. That dinner drained me. That outing drained the hell out of me. It was probably my most draining experience on this show so far. It was another moment of Sai being dedicated to wanting to not understand. And it was evident, and it made her and Erin look even more silly, even more childish that y'all engaged, that whole situation like that. Y'all knew what they were saying. So I was just ready for it to be over. I was like, okay, this is getting draining. Y'all are really being assholes right now. And yeah, I wasn't for it.
Well, day after the dinner, Brynn and Jenna visit Jessel at her apartment. Jessel's little kids are so cute. Those little boys are damn adorable. Little terrors, but they're adorable.
Yeah, I was about to say adorable is an interesting word. I would use a different, but
they're 2 years old. They're 2 years old. They're doing exactly what 2-year-olds need to do, stressing their parents the hell out. They love them some
right, Brynn. That's true.
They love them some Brynn. So once everybody's assembled, Brynn is talking about her upcoming birthday party. She kind of wants a Venetian masked, kind of like creative black tie. And I'm like, that's a lot of themes, but like, if anybody can pull it off, it's Brynn. Okay, cool. Like, this seems very on par for Brynn. Jessel fills them in on the mess that happened at Swingers. She kind of is giving Brynn a little bit of the backstory on her side of lunch because Brynn only talked to Sai about it. She's kind of mentioning, Sai was cold. Sai called her a diva. Jenna asked Pavitt, is Sai a diva? And he says no, but she is bipolar. Or no, she says, is Jessel a diva? She says, Jessel's not a diva, but Sai is bipolar. All the ladies seem really, really horrified that he said that.
Yes.
It's probably less about that he said it and more that they're all very Twitter savvy. And it was like, baby, we can't do medical diagnosis on here no matter how right you are. We can't do that. I love that. Jessel looks at him and says, you should probably retract that.
Yeah.
Retract that.
like I want you to say on camera that I retract that.
No, not an Instagram.
I want you to say it right now.
Later. Now.
Right now. Right.
But I mean, nobody disagreed with him because he was right. She flips a switch. 1 minute she's cool, and then she figures out that she wants to be upset with somebody. So Brynn, being the messy girl that I have come to tolerate, says that Erin and Sai are saying that Pavitt loves Jessel because she lets him do whatever the hell he wants to do. Cameras roll back, and as we've already discussed, that absolutely is not what he said. Brynn also states that they were gossiping more about Vietnam and Pavitt not wearing his wedding band at the dinner. And then she admits in her confessional that she was being messy because, and this is one of the few times that I was like, okay, Brynn, you're kind of on point with this, where she says, we're a group of friends. And when you have a group of friends, like, you should be able to turn to your friends if you're having issues in marriage. And we should be there for each other for support. We shouldn't be trying to poke holes in each other's stories or their relationships. And she had me here and then she lost me when she said the only thing you need to poke holes in are condoms when you're speaking with very rich men. And I'm like, there it is. Couldn't even have, it's not even 2 minutes.
Serious moment.
There it is.
Not even 2 minutes. But
right on cue.
Because production stayed on her for a good 3 or 4 seconds before you heard them cackling in the back about her.
She was like, yeah.
And she was like, I mean, how do you think I got this penthouse? Allegedly. The ladies call Pavitt over And, Jessel's kind of telling him what's being insinuated. And he was like, well, that's not what I said. That's not what I meant. And, and in the midst of sometimes housewives can get really frivolous and Jessel tries to put on a front. But in this scene, you can tell that, it's bothering her. She starts crying and she gets really emotional. And this, honestly, my heart ached for her because she pointed to him and she was just like, yo, this is my best friend. And this is what it is. Like, that's my husband. She says she feels like everything that they're saying is below the belt. I really liked both Jenna and Brynn in this scene, that when Pavitt tried to no, what I go to Vietnam and I do this, and they both were immediately like, you do not have to defend what you guys do. You don't have to defend anything. Brynn says that, Jessel's saying, I just want to move on. I'm done with this. I said everything that I needed to say. And Brynn again makes a very interesting point where she's saying, you may want to move on, but it's not going to move on until, you have not asserted yourself enough for Sai. And at first I thought she was kind of digging at Jessel, but the more that I thought about it, she was saying the kind of person that Sai is, you are going to have to cuss her clean out for her to shut. Yep. Because this passive, stop, we can all laugh and say she ate Sai up and riled her up, but Sai's just going to come right back in and dig in her because Jessel hasn't asserted that stuff to tell her, yo, shut up. We're not going over this anymore.
Just like Sutton.
We end with Jessel in tears, and she says that she really doesn't want to keep doing this with the ladies. She's kind of over it, and I really hate that we've come to this part. So before I get y'all's thoughts on this scene, I'm going to go ahead and put the link to the live chat. The chat is going off in these comments, guys. Call in. Let us know what you guys are thinking. We're nearing to the end of the season. The last couple episodes have been really good. Everybody has some very strong personalities on what transpired tonight. So Dream, we'll go ahead, or Dream, I saw Dream's comment, sorry. Love, we'll go ahead and start with you. What did you think of this last little scene with the ladies?
I think that I love me my Brynn, but Brynn, girl, you're the last person to say anything. I get what she was saying, but girl, you flirt with people's husbands. Don't be in the confessional saying, as girlfriends, what we should do is try and protect each other because we're safe spaces. Then girl, get your safe space away from flirt with my husband at my 10-year anniversary dinner. Safe space away from him. So she's the right message, wrong messenger. But I get it. And she's right. I mean, look, if you have a justification for being messy and it makes sense, I'll take it. It made sense. I'll take it. I feel bad for Jessel. I do. I mean, I feel as though, like you said, she was kind of just handling it good and everything was cool, but she broke down about it. Because at the end of the day, yes, it is a show, but she's being real about the situation. You guys are just being personal. We could be shady and throw little digs at each other and this, that, and the third, but y'all coming from my marriage and it's unwarranted. I haven't did anything to anybody. I'm no Erin going around just taking shots at people and hiding. She doesn't do anything outside of being misunderstood. And I think that's the hardest part about going through life, being misunderstood, because people feel as though you being who you are is doing something to them, or you said something and you had bad intentions. You meant that you did this and you're just like, I'm just misunderstood, So I feel bad in that aspect because she's just really all right, you guys, at this point, it is attack. It is direct. Now y'all coming from my marriage, we got a problem. So it was a sad scene at the end. I feel bad.
Chad?
Yeah, same. I felt bad for her because, like you said, you can tell that it was really getting to her. It wasn't on surface type of mess anymore. It was definitely okay, I'm really seeing that these girls are kind of, coming for me. And poor Jessel, she didn't, doesn't really know. Well, then again, I don't know. She did say in her confessional that that she's been very PG. So I don't know. Maybe we'll get the X-rated version. I'm sorry, the R-rated version of Jessel.
Not X. Hold on.
Not the X.
Hold on.
Wait a minute.
Look, not the X. Maybe we'll get the R-rated version reunion or next season, whatever. But what annoys me with Jessel and Pavitt, and I want to be clear, I believe every relationship should do what works best for them. Every single one. Like, I don't care what type of relationship. I really do what's best for you. But on the flip side, again, Jessel and Pavitt have this thing where they both act like they don't get it. They don't understand, And when they brought up the wedding ring situation, she was like, "Yeah, he lost it 2 weeks after we got married and never replaced it." Y'all been married for years. Like, come on now. Y'all are making the whole story. Y'all making Aaron and Sai's, whole point kind of connect dots. And it's not fair because it is all frivolous and, on the surface. But you go from y'all don't have sex for 2 years, just about, to flying to Vietnam randomly, to he never wears a wedding ring. What? It's like the whole thing is just like, let me connect the dots. And I think that I thank God for her that Kenya Moore is not on this show, because she would have been in tears if somebody like
Oh
Kenya
my
Moore was
God.
was doing the dissecting of her marriage,
Or
Yeah.
Giselle.
or
Oh
Giselle.
God, Giselle.
Giselle would have.
I mean,
I'm ate it up.
she's very lucky that she's with a Sai and an Aaron right now, because
Yeah.
Exactly.
yeah, that's too many things that the average person would question, that
Yeah.
makes her marriage look like a little bit of a sham. Are y'all really just best friends and y'all decide to just stay with each other, just for the sake of paying bills or whatever? But it's a lot. It's a lot.
I agree. Like, but again, my thought is we're looking at a marriage through the lens of indoctrination of what we feel a marriage should be.
True.
We're taught that women should be possessive the way Aaron and Sai are about their husbands. You have to have your wedding ring. You need to do this. I won't let you go on vacation. I'm not going to let you do this. And from the jump, Jessel was very honest in the fact that we were best friends for years. We lived together. That's my best friend. I love this man. It's whatever. So it's natural that when we fell in love and decided to get married, nothing's going to change just because we got married. Like, do what you do. I'm going to do me. And again, they could have an arrangement. They could have whatever. But I think that they're just so used to their bubble, and perhaps the friendships that they've curated outside of the show are just used to how the two of them are together, that I think honestly it may be taking them by surprise that these new people have so many questions when this has just been their norm for so long.
Yeah.
And so, nobody is right, nobody is wrong. Where Aaron or Sai get wrong is when it's just like, girl, we are now 5 or 6 episodes in and y'all are not letting up on this girl. Like, what business is it of y'all? It's like, my God. Like, your
Right.
husband out here saying that he would leave you if you got sick in a heartbeat so he could go get some coochie from somebody else. Like, worry about that. Worry about why your man didn't marry you until your daughter was 10 years old. Worry about why you stole him from
Lord.
somebody else's husband or somebody else's wife. Like, that's what you need to be worried about. Allegedly. Allegedly.
Is your name Jamie or Jessel?
I have my
Baby.
notes. I have my notes, and I'm going to talk about
You
this.
have your notes?
All right. Well, thank you guys. Let me go ahead and bring on. We got 2 callers. Let's go ahead and bring on Sierra. How are you doing, baby?
Hey, what's up,
Hi.
boo? Hey, y'all.
Hi.
All
Excellent
right. So, what
panel
do you got
once
for
again.
us?
I'm living for this show. I am living for this show. I think that, Sai and Aaron, as annoying as they are essential. We need those annoying, obnoxious, kind of like basic birds on the show to question a unique and powerful queen like our Jessel, our Queen Jessel. I just think it's a perfect storm. You feel what I'm saying? Like, it's a perfect storm. This is a perfect setup for drama and mess. Let me talk about Sai, because Sai, I really want to dig into her because she really got on my nerves last night. Like, she really kind of like stepped on my nerves and just ripped them apart. Because why are you being? That is my thing. Like, why are you being all rowdy and mean with a kind and sweet person like Jessel? Jessel is not giving you that energy. What Sai wants to do, Sai wants to be the big bad wolf and go after like a sheep. Sweetie, go after a wolf. Go after Ubah if you want to have all that kind of energy about you. Don't go after Jessel, who's sitting over here with her tea and crumpets and chilling. I think that's weak. You're weak. You're weak, Sai. Over there looking like Dr. Evil assistant. Um, but
Oh, wait.
don't she though? Y'all know I'm talking about Frog.
I know what you're talking about. Put that down.
Yes, her.
Oh.
That one. But I'm living for how much I don't like Sai. Like I'm enjoying not liking her. I'm enjoying that process.
I'm
Um,
living.
and then I want to touch on Jenna. Like Jenna was giving my girl Jessel some really great, sage advice. But I feel like she's very sensible. But what if I kind of picture a scenario? What if Sai was yelling at you, Jenna? Jenna, would you buck up or would you be as sensible and sweet and as meek as you are? Or would you? Because I'm trying to see, like, further down the line, Jenna, are you going to raise your voice? Are you going to get hood with us? What is Jenna going to do? What is Jenna going to do? Because I'm like, I like that you're here for my girl Jessel, but Jenna still doesn't completely work for me. Bryn, I'm good on Bryn. Bryn, she is kind of finding her balance of being kind of like sultry and, you know, too much. You know what I'm trying to say? Like she's finding her balance, so I'm cool with her. Ubah, cool with her. Queen. But as far as Sai and Erin, sweeties, you're doing a great job of being horrible people. So kudos. But yeah,
Well,
that's about
damn.
it.
Well, damn. I want that on a shirt. I am loving how much I'm disliking Sai.
Yes.
I
It's
love that for
fun.
me.
Yes, I'm ready for this reunion trailer.
I
I'm
cannot
ready for
wait.
that.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Sierra. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for tuning in every single week. You just made me laugh. I appreciate
Yes.
that.
Yes, that's what I'm here for. That's what I'm here
Have
for.
a good
So
night, babe.
you too.
Bye.
All
Bye.
all right. We've got Megan is our last caller. Let's go ahead and bring her on. Hey, Megan.
Hey guys.
Hi, girl,
Hi.
Meg.
Hey, hey. Okay, so like Jessel, I have notes. So, okay. So I was trying to figure out like really like what about this was kind of making me annoyed. I think you guys are all right. It's typical housewife stuff. It's nothing we haven't seen before, but I don't know if you guys watched the old Roni. And like it was Dorinda's her basically the season before she was put on pause. That season was a terrible season for her because she was drunk, and the whole season she was going for Tinsley.
Mhm.
And it was just like
Yes.
everybody was like,
Relentless.
it was like every episode, and it was like even the things that were like, okay, it's fair to comment, criticize, whatever, it just felt like she was punching below her weight class. It did
Mhm.
not feel fair. And I kind of feel like this is where it's starting to veer into that territory, especially with the both of them, Sai and Erin, kind of coming for Jessel, because Jessel is kind of saying like, oh yeah, I stood up for myself. And I was like, yeah, you tried, you kind of held your own, but we kind of know that Jessel is not the one to like go bar for bar like with people. She doesn't seem like that type, and so I feel like that's why why I'm just like, Sai, this girl, like Sai's from where, Bronx, Brooklyn, wherever
Bronx.
she's from,
The Bronx.
the Bronx. So I'm just like, I'm sure that this is what you had to do on a daily with people, just like, verbally spar. And that Jessel is not that type of person. So it kind of just feels like, like, all right, can we just give it a rest a little, maybe, perhaps? And I feel like it's one thing to like look for someone's approval. I don't think that Jessel is kind of like trying to be on their coattails, like, please like me, like me. I think it's like, it's annoying when someone thinks that they know who you are and they think that they know your character and it's not true to who you actually are. Sai literally said, you're a liar. And like, that would get anybody riled up if you feel like that's not who you are. And I mean, I feel like Sai has a listening problem. Like the whole, oh, you said he was going next week compared to a couple of weeks. It's like, that's not what she said, obviously. I think that Sai sometimes has this thing where she's just like, I think in her head, she is scripting a response for the person and not actually listening to what they say. And so when what they say something else, it's like, it just does not compute for her. She kind of short circuits and it's like, oh, wait, but like, you didn't say that, or you didn't say it like that, or you're lying, which I mean, is usually none of the above. So that's with that. The husbands are lame. You're so correct. They are so dry. They're dry as hell. Don't know if y'all watch Married to Medicine, but it really was making me miss like a nice, good, just like, like where's like the Cecils and the Dr. Eugenes? Like I just like want like a good like husband moment. Something like it just felt so forced. And I was just like, not y'all coming for the like the whole blue ball thing. I was just like, wow, you guys are really bold with someone you guys don't even know that well, like making jokes like that. Okay. And yeah, I feel like, Erin has the husband, this is what I wrote down. Erin has the husband that she thinks Pavitt is. Erin has either he's going to cheat on her, like, or it's happened before. I feel like you're sitting here kind of like shading Pavitt for like something that we don't even really know that he's done or is going to do. And your husband has told you to your face for 2 episodes that he probably will cheat on you if you're going through something, or, I guess if the sex isn't, if you're not, giving him what he needs on sex. So he basically said that in the confessional, and she said no comment. So on that, Erin. So, and yeah, I mean, I think I'm very much ready for the reunion. I can now understand why Jessel is sitting right hand to Andy, because that's all that they have been talking about this season. And I don't know. I agree. I do not want anybody saying, they should be put off the show, only a 1 season. Like, let these people evolve, grow. I think Sai will absolutely, I agree, Chad. I think she will like look back at the season and be like, all right, this is how I can still be me, but like pivot in certain ways to be a little bit more likable, because girl, it's down bad on Twitter. It is not looking good for her. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited. I hope they get a season 2. I know they haven't been like.
Oh yeah.
I think they will.
Yeah, all the girls are coming back. I think
they will. And yeah, but yeah, that's not so Pavitt cheating.
Chad, who are you worried about?
Who knows? We don't know. I really like that.
He might have a second family in Vietnam, y'all, and we just giving him too much grace. We don't know.
We don't listen. It's season 1. Like, after that, all bets are off. I say, like, I'll give you season 1. We'll give you grace. After that, it's like whatever. I like Pavitt. I hope he's not cheating on her. Jesus Christ, please, Pavitt, don't. Okay. So, okay. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye. Have a good night. Oh, it's a lot.
I'm gonna say something real quick. I was gonna say my mic was muted at first, but if Dubai got a season 2, Roni will be getting a season 2. For
Thank
sure.
you. Thank you.
Bravo and Andy seem to really like the girls. Like he really likes the girls. I think Jenna is getting ready to come on. Ubah was on last night, and so I think he really, really likes them. He really
has he had everybody on Watch What Happens yet? Basically, that's a big deal. That's a big deal.
Everybody. He's had Jessel on twice. Now Jessel is technically 3 times, because she popped up in the audience on the one time that
when Erin was there.
When Bryn was there.
I mean, Bryn.
Yeah, because she said, Andy was like, you told me you weren't available, and now here you are in the audience. So I think Jessel is becoming the breakout, the little favorite. They're getting press. They're on Sherry Shepherd today. I think her and Bryn and Ubah were on looking phenomenal. So I think they will. I think this energy is something that Bravo needs, as we're seeing a lot of the flagship franchises kind of faltering. Nostalgia is keeping those things alive because they're not bringing fresh storylines. I mean, so we'll see. We've got a finale tomorrow, and then we've got a 2-part reunion. So thank you to everybody who joined in. Chad, Love, thank you guys for joining me tonight. All of our lean panelists who are in the comments helping to moderate and give their opinion. Asia, Dream, Sammy, Tonio, Chase, thank you guys so much. And then, of course, our viewers who called in tonight, Sierra and Megan, and our viewers who are keeping the chat live, who are keeping everything going, who are keeping the lights turned on over here in my home, not Sammy's, because his electricity go out.
Wow.
Thank you to everybody who joined in tonight. What do we have coming up next? Wednesday night?
Salt Lake is tomorrow.
Salt Lake is tomorrow. Oh, my God.
Oh, Wednesday. It's Wednesday. It comes.
You know what you can find out? Like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and you will be alerted. when episodes are dropping.
This square has a
thank you guys.
question.
Oh, Miss Love, yes.
I
No,
have one.
this square
Oh,
has a question.
Hello.
Yes,
I-
you had one question. The last question.
I want to put something in the atmosphere. So if it comes true, I'll say that I was already ahead of the game. Jamie know how I do on Facebook, but I see a very Ashley Darby future for Jessel. I'll leave it there.
Just not insufferable. But
No,
you're saying
and-
that you see her being messy,
No. I see a very
or her husband's gonna come out and they're gonna divorce, allegedly.
No, I don't want to go to the divorce route. I think I'm putting it more so from the aspect of if it does ever come out that Pavitt is a cheater or doing whatever, Jessel seems like the type that's going to be very, oh yeah, I knew that was
Yeah.
going on. We
I don't like that
have
put in the
disagreement.
atmosphere. No,
So
I don't
I'm
like
putting
that.
it in the atmosphere because I feel
I
like she's that type of
Interesting.
girl.
Nope, I blocked that. They don't need to go in the atmosphere.
I'm just saying.
This will be the last time that you see Chad on this panel.
Oh no, not
All right,
Chadwick.
guys. Thank y'all so much for joining us. Y'all have a fantastic night, and we will see y'all next week. Thank y'all so much.
Bye.